FX presents the Hindu Podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Kortney.
This is the Hindu Podcast where moon drive time meets late night talk show, and we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide the auditory escape. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. Well, how have you? Oh, what? Oh, sorry. I thought you... that
I was
caught me
trying to
off
be your
guard.
hype man, I guess.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
We are not on the same page.
We aren't, but that's okay. We've been just a little out of sync. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, it feels like. Just, I don't know.
It has, yes.
Okay, so it's not just me. Cool.
No.
So I guess that'll lead me in my perfect segue into what's going on with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just been busy and been working hard, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my life now.
I do know, because since we do check in just to see how things are going, and things are going that way for me as well. I'm busy, just going day by day, just trying to keep up. I don't even have like too much news. Like like regular news that's in the world, things that are happening. I mean, there's a couple things. We don't really talk politics here, but the one thing that really caught me off guard, well, not off guard, but just like, really? That happened? A certain figure who was in the White House as a like top administration or whatever, put it in quotes if you want. He recently said about a certain weather event that at the time of recording is still currently happening, and said that it was going to affect a certain state. And then he showed off a chart that directs that shows the direction of the proposed path of this weather event, and used a Sharpie to kind of include his
a Sharpie at that.
A Sharpie, yes. And it was a terrible thing, but it also at the same time like this is hilarious, but it's also terrible.
Kind of expected maybe at this point.
I mean, we know he's a child, but the fact that we see the childish,
that
like
he's
just
a child, yeah,
unabashedly childish at this point.
There's like no denying it now. There's no excuses made now. Like everybody just kind of accepts it and looks the other way. Maybe I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
What am I watching that other people aren't?
I don't know. Like our good friend Lauren Warren, maybe many times it said, and I'm not sure if in regards to this particular person, but I really want to find her crayons and coloring book and give it to this person just so they can keep them distracted from.
That would do it.
Yeah, I think so. That's not entirely at all what I was going to talk about at all, but it just came to mind as like, this is a thing that has happened, and even the National Weather Service had to get involved. Like, no, that's not true at all. Whatever is being said, and like, it's incredible. I mean, but
that's a good word for it, is incredible.
Yes, in the actual literal meaning definition of the word, which for some people out there, maybe you don't know, but incredible means it's hard to believe. Like, it's difficult to believe. You don't believe it. So, yeah. So yes, it can also mean a good thing and a bad thing. And in this case, it is a bad thing. So, yeah. But the actual news that I had been paying attention to, and I know we brought it up in the last episode, so I figured we might as well keep it going until we know, definite facts. And it's kind of our ongoing saga, similar to with when we did Sheboygan News. I mean, we still do Sheboygan News. We're just not going to have any today. When we talked about there was some land project that was happening and who was getting claims of what. That was an ongoing saga that I liked to keep tabs on. and I will,
Mm-hmm.
just not today. But I am keeping tabs on Disney, and I almost feel like making a new jingle called Disney Watch because there's a whole bunch of stuff that they do. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just another corporate entity that's slowly trying to take over. Not even slowly, but just, they are kind of blatant about their...
Very strategically.
Yes. Taking our money and time and everything. Just taking everything. So I actually did write down 2 little notes here. And the first one I'll start with is Disney versus Sony. This one being about Spider-Man. So as of now, it looks like the updates have it that Spider-Man will indeed go back to Sony. So, they never left Sony, but it looks like that they're not budging on this deal as of yet. So I hear...
Now, what was it? Was Spider-Man on loan to Marvel for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of movies or something like that? Is that what the deal was?
I believe so. The contract was pretty much Sony would finance the movies being made, specifically the Spider-Man movies, and also yes, Spider-Man would be on loan to play along with some of the other MCU characters, and Disney would get all the merchandising. I think they would get the merchandising credit for it, the merchandising monies. But as for the money the movies made, that would go back to Sony. And I'm not sure if Disney got any piece of it. They probably did. I think they got 10% or something. But after the success of Far From Home, Disney wanted to renegotiate that deal that they have and make everything 50-50. And Sony was like, no way, because this is our biggest franchise that we have, and we're not about to give that up to you. So, yeah. So, yeah. And then as you may have seen, there had been at least online, many fans just either blaming first Sony, then they're blaming Disney. And at the end of the day, they're all companies just wanting to make money. So,
yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where that's landed. Tom Holland has been on at least social media or wherever, just talking about how Spider-Man is in good hands with Sony. It's not going to be rebooted. It's just going to be continued, and that's going to be the interesting thing.
So. We love you, Tom, but we know. I feel like you don't know anything yet, buddy. I feel like you're just placating us for a while.
Well, the rumor is, and again, I haven't actually researched to know if it's true, but the rumor is that they, I think, have already begun writing part 3 or not part 3 or the third movie, because he is under contract to do 2 more films, as far as I know. So,
with Marvel,
with Sony, since Spider-Man is still under Sony, and these movies have been made with Sony. So.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I feel somebody pointed out also that just because he was under Sony before doesn't mean that Feige didn't have any parts of it or didn't contribute to it. So I feel like although he's under Sony, that doesn't mean the quality will go down of those movies or the story. So I just hope that's the case. And I say this as somebody who's not seen a single Tom Holland iteration of Spider-Man. So except for in Infinity War and Endgame. So oops. And Civil War, I guess.
This is a revelation to me.
Yeah. I've not seen any of his movies.
I was so unaware.
Spider-Man. I know. I'm horrible.
I don't know how to rectify this. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm like, I wouldn't tell that to too many people anymore. Just we'll keep that our secret. Shh. We won't tell anyone. I'm gonna say I'm gonna edit this out, but I'm not going to.
So you're really just gonna tell everybody?
No, well, you know what? It drives me crazy. Sometimes people say, I'm going to edit this out of the episode. They never do. I'm like, I'm going to edit this part out, and then I listen to hear like some kind of audio break or to just seamlessly flow into the next topic, and it never does. So, so yeah, that never does. So, abrupt cut. I'm still talking about you not seeing Spider-Man, and yeah. But we'll leave you. We'll move on. I don't know if you feel a little cloud of shame or anything that I've been trying to produce over there, but I'm going to let it linger, and we're going to move on because that's it for what we know right now. And this really is just speculation because I really didn't read anything. I'm just reading headlines because too busy. The other thing, Disney related, I recently watched a video, and I should have just sent this to you because I found it very interesting, but Disney versus Netflix. And this is basically the streaming wars, as we also have been talking about. And what caught my interest in this video that I watched is how Netflix really isn't very profitable and has been losing money. And I guess we'll be continuing to do so with Disney becoming entering officially the streaming game later this fall. So it really looks like they're in trouble, and they've been spending more money than they've been making. I'm talking about Netflix, whereas Disney, they know that they're not going to be making any money, at least maybe for the next 5 years. But the fact is that they're coming in with original content that you have to see. Like, it's almost like required viewing. So,
right, especially because they are basically using characters from the MCU and giving them shows, so it kind of makes sense, and it's a brilliant move. But I also feel like Netflix they're going to be okay. I think what's happening is there are other other networks that are catching on to the whole streaming game, and so now that they're adding on and they're doing different things. And like Hulu, you can have like a bundled deal. You can add on HBO or whatever that doesn't normally come with the regular subscription rate. So I think there's probably a dip because the market is starting to become more saturated. I think that's just normal business because as we have, I think we've talked about it before on this podcast. I know you and I have talked about it at some point. What they're going to do, all networks are going to come up with their own streaming service, and then eventually they're going to start combining them like cable again. So that's just a cycle. But I think Netflix, because they are the game changers, they're the ones who kick this whole thing off. They're the ones who started this. They'll eventually bounce back. They'll be innovative. They'll be creative. They'll come up with something, and they'll get their viewership back.
Well,
that's
certainly
my theory.
hope so. Yeah, we certainly hope so. And I think as of yesterday, did I read this? I think that they are going to actually start releasing episodes episodically versus just,
Yeah, but that's just some of them. I don't think that's the trend that they're going to do for all of them. That's just only like 2 that I saw.
Oh, yeah.
So
I didn't read the whole thing, but I knew it was only going to be doing it a couple shows, just not all of them. And they kind of already do that now, but for those shows that they do it for, they're ones that are produced weekly, like like talk shows. Yeah, Chelsea's show.
Lately, yeah.
Oh my God, I can't remember his name. He's a comedian. He does Patriot Act. His show. But yeah, basically weekly shows. I'm not sure if Norm still has a show, Norm Macdonald, but he had or has a show on Netflix. I don't know if it was weekly either, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's different. That's a talk show. We're just talking about regular episodic TV. So that's what they're doing. And if I can find that video, I'll send it to you anyway, just so you can take a peek at it and maybe feel a little sense of gloom. But you're also right, because it is a business. They'll eventually maybe find ways, but I get the point they were making where they were spending so much money getting like high profile directors and actors and just making, I don't want to say necessarily quality content, because while a lot of people did watch Bird Box, I'm not sure how a lot of people loved it. And there was another one, the Will Smith one. I forgot what that one was called, where he had fighting with orgs and stuff.
Bloodbath. No, that's not it.
No. And
that movie.
Right, that one. And here I am just not using Google like I normally do. But that one actually is getting a sequel, which I was surprised by.
Are you serious? Bright. It's Bright.
Right. See, I'm thinking something like Bound, and it's like not that, but yeah. And I still haven't watched it either because I'm like,
Me neither. It wasn't on my list. Still not on my list.
And I like Will Smith. I'm just like, I don't know about this. And I don't know.
Well, I've heard the problematic issues discussed about that movie, so I'm, I'll pass.
Yeah, and it comes down it comes all the way down to even the writer of it, who has definitely nothing to do with, I guess, the sequel. And he's just a problematic writer in general. I forgot his name. It's like Max something. He's the son of a famous director. And I'm not trying to be cryptic about it. I just legit don't have names because this was not part of like notes of things to discuss. But since we're on the topic, that's why I'm talking about it. So yeah. So that's Bright. I almost said Bound again, and that's not what I'm talking about. Bright. Bound is a different movie entirely. It's a movie out of all the movies from the Wachowskis, that's the only one I have not seen. So, and I do remember we did discuss Cloud Atlas, and that is currently on Netflix. So in case you wanted to give that a peek, which I do want to attempt a second time of watching it, just to see if it was as confusing as I remember, you can go for it.
Right.
I know you're not in a hurry to do so, but it's there for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the options that are available to me, though.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to let you be aware that it exists for this.
For me.
Yeah. For streaming for free on Netflix, which may or may not be crumbling to the ground. As for other news, I just do want to give a frowny face, a red frowny face to Google for taking away our beloved Google Hangouts, which is how we previously recorded this podcast. So yeah, I just want to give that to them. We are currently using Zoom, which I'm okay with. So this is maybe a little ad space for them. So thank you for being our backup and being here for us. I know there's other platforms out there. I've tried a few, but this is just in case we sound a little different for those serious audiophiles like I am. Like, hey, they sound a little different from before. And the thing about Google Hangouts was it did a lot of the work for me as an editor, and I just really enjoyed it. But, Zoom comes in as a very good second, and now I guess it's the first until I go around, just kind of shopping around different other what am I trying to say? Recording services. But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. And maybe that could be another new segment. I'm always on the hunt for a different segment, but a frowny face segment. Who am I giving the frowny face segment to today? So yeah, frowny face to Google. I just seem like I'm just on a tirade against all corporations today, doesn't it?
It does. I'm okay with that, though. I'm good with that.
I mean, I have to keep our corporate overlords in check. Someone has to. I'm like, okay, you're going to rule over my life here on this earth, this planet here. I need you to respect some rules, or at least give me some liberties or something, so at least I can enjoy your overship or something. I don't know, your rule, your reign, whatever. I'm just waiting for Disney and Google to fight it out, see how that works out. If it works out.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen, and hopefully we don't get caught in the middle of it, because that would be crazy.
It would be. Because one of them is going to want to implant chips in us, and I'm like, I don't know. And then it's like having to choose a parent. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that either, because there's not many of them left. Like there's even Amazon. They're in a similar game, but I mean, where else am I going to find whatever I need to be delivered to my house at like a moment's notice? And they control the drones too. So
yeah, which is so weird.
Yeah, this corporate war is something else. So it's let's see, Disney versus Google versus Amazon. I know there's some other ones out there, but they really don't count as much. I'm looking at you, Facebook. You've just basically got a whole bunch of data and I don't know, lies and deceit. I recently watched, what is it? Is it The Hack or The Great Hack? I don't know. It's on Netflix again. It's a documentary about how they pretty much just took all this information with Facebook's help. Yeah, it was a good documentary. It's stuff that I kind of already knew, but it broke it down further to like how they actually acquired the information about us as a society and used that to help elections get won or cheated. It's interesting. So check that out too. The Great Hack or The Hack, which one it's called. So yes. Now we got those bits of news out and about. I've got one more before we go. We're not leaving, but before we move on, I forgot in the last episode to talk about something that you and I had discussed that I was going to do, and that was try the Impossible Whopper at Burger King. So,
right. Now, you've tried it, right?
I have tried it, yes. And I'm just going to say I don't care for it. What I did was I had an Impossible Whopper and a regular Whopper order the same way with everything on it, even though I pulled out the onions and something else. Pickles, yeah. I don't like onions and pickles, so I pulled those out. Regardless, same way, and cut it right in half so that way I get a good look at both of them, and I take a bite of one, I take a bite of the other. I think I started with the regular Whopper first, like, okay, this is Whopper material. You got your beef, you got all the other fixings. Then I took a bite of the Impossible Whopper, just swirling around. I'm like, what's going on here? It wasn't terrible. So if I am like starved for food and that's all I had left, it is edible. I can eat it, but it does taste different. So those commercials you saw, they're liars.
Oh, I can't taste the difference.
Right.
But they also probably weren't eating them side by side either.
Right. And I think even if you weren't eating them side by side, there would still be something that you would taste that's a little off. And that's how I felt. Like there's something off about this. And obviously, that it is, a plant-based food, but still there's it's got the texture right, but the taste isn't quite there. So it's kind of lacking a little bit. And then you're like, oh, now I've got to finish this kind of thing. So once you finish it, then you're like, okay, good. At least I have the real beef left over to make up for the lack of whatever was missing. So, so my consensus, or not my consensus, but my results are basically that you taste the difference, and that difference can really broke it for me. Like I really don't want to try another one. But yeah, I'm good. But they are closer because I remember having a veggie burger a long time ago, but that wasn't from Burger King. I didn't really have anything to compare it to, just regular beef. And that wasn't bad either. Like I can stomach them, but if beef is available, I'll take the beef. So yeah. Have you gotten around to trying it yet?
I haven't, but I don't really eat out a whole lot. So it's even with the Popeyes craze that one day, I know it was like a week, but even then I didn't. Happening. It's not though. I mean, it's sold out, I thought.
Oh, well, I thought like they, brought them out, but like it's an ongoing thing. It's just almost like, I don't know.
The McRib.
Oh, is it? So it was only a limited time only, the chicken sandwich.
I didn't think it was a limited time thing, but the fact that they sold out, made me think otherwise. So I'm actually now I'm questioning. So I don't know, but like with that, I think I was less inclined to try that because of the craze. I tend to want to wait until the hype dies down before I try something, because I'm not about to get in nobody's line and fight for no food. No, that's not my life. So no. That's a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would like to try it, but Whoppers are not my favorite burger anyway. So I'm good with waiting.
They're not mine either. I just wanted to try it just because of the craze of the Impossible Whopper. The chicken sandwich, I need to look into that, because with all the talk of the chicken sandwich, and I mean, again, that day that they were going crazy at least online, just making jokes from Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, and I think somebody else kind of came in the game but then got shut down because they posted a really terrible picture. All of that was hilarious, but I think I am a bit curious, and if possible would like to try this chicken sandwich. But there was a little bit of, I guess this counts as breaking news. Do you want to break this news? You want to first give me the...
Sure.
Okay. All right. And the tweet you sent me, which it took me like 5 times to read it just to like, wait, what's happening? So
right.
So yeah, what happened? What's because Jeremy Renner is in the news.
Apparently he was intending to launch an app that was focused on Jeremy Renner. Okay, so the tweet reads, and it's from the New York Times, but it reads, Jeremy Renner official, an app dedicated to Jeremy Renner, has been killed. Jeremy Renner told fans of Jeremy Renner. So apparently he was I haven't opened the article, but I just saw the headline and I was just like, ew, look at that. But apparently he was going to launch an app because, I know that he is, in addition to being a mediocre actor, he's also a musician. So maybe
a mediocre musician.
I've only heard that one song, like in that one little commercial or whatever, but so it's a clip of a song. But I guess he was launching a thing to help people stay up to date with him. I don't know. I don't even want to open the article because I don't care. But apparently it was a thing, and it's been canceled already for some reason that we'll never know because I haven't opened the article.
Well, I took the initiative because it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really feel like reading all of this. I need a too long didn't read kind of thing, but this is hilarious. I will have to go. I think I'll just have to follow up and read it later because I'm curious as to why. Not why did it die, but why did he even want to begin this? Like, whose idea was this? Who greenlit this? Who is clamoring to know? Like, oh my God, I need to know all about Jeremy Renner right now. Like, where can I go? Where can I turn? Oh, the Jeremy Renner app. Thank you. Said no one.
Nobody, like literally nobody said that.
Yeah.
Not even his fans, I'm sure.
However many there are, I don't know. I mean, there are people who I can definitely see getting an app like this. I mean, okay, they wouldn't get one, but like people would love, like for example, if Beyonce had an app like this, like if there was a Beyonce app all about Beyonce, of course, people would go nuts for that. But she's not going to do that because she needs to stay in secret. So that way she can just surprise people with an album randomly. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a very short list of people I can think of that would ever kind of benefit from something like that. I think Lady Gaga might be another one. Because she seems to be that kind of person that would have that kind of, well, first of all, a fan base and people who are like thoroughly interested in what they're doing and would love that kind of immediate connection. to them. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Jeremy Renner, that is not someone that's ever on my radar unless maybe we're discussing things Marvel related or the Bourne franchise, which he's only done one movie, and then what's his face came back. I'm doing terrible with names this evening. I want to call him Jason, but that's not his name. That's his character's name. What? Matt Damon. That's it. Matt Damon came back for the last movie, which I don't think I've seen. So I don't know if they even addressed the fact that Jeremy Renner was in the last one or what happened to him. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care, but yeah. It's not a franchise that I loved, but I appreciate for what it is. So yeah, I will have to come back to this because this is interesting and kind of funny. So, oh my goodness.
So next time.
Next time. Yes, next time. I'm going to tell a story about what happened to me recently, which is connected to, this is the third time it's happened to me now. Now, a couple nights ago, an intruder, a vandal, a miscreant, had broken into my car and didn't steal anything, fortunately, but just rummaged through everything, emptied all my bags onto my seats, and just felt violated once I discovered it going to work the next morning. Like, hey, why is all my stuff out? What's happening? And then I realized what's happened. Another little thing that actually kind of annoyed me a bit is they turned my cabin light off, and I didn't realize this till later that night when I went to open my door. Like, hey, normally my light comes on. I was like, oh, so they can continue working in secrecy. They turned the light off. So sneaky, it's terrible. That happened. I did tweet about it and sent a picture of what is hiding inside of my armrest, which is a custom armrest because the Honda Fit does not come with one. I ordered one from Amazon and installed it. And inside of the armrest, I don't know if you've seen the picture of this tweet. Did you?
I did.
Oh, you did?
You
okay.
had spices. Did I bust your bubble?
You didn't, because either you or me were going to reveal what was in there. But yes, I had some spices in there, and that actually got some attention from people because they're like, first of all, actually not even first of all, it was just one of those things. Like, first of all, they felt bad that someone broke into my car. Second, they were like, why do you have spices in your car? But also, I was gaining respect for having spices in my car, or emergency spices, as some people were referring to them as. And I have them because I have them. I mean, do I really need to explain why they're there?
You do.
I do? Okay.
So let's hear it.
Okay. So occasionally I'll go I went to my friend's house to cook, and I brought seasonings with me because these are like some of my favorite seasonings I like to use, and I knew they weren't there. So I brought some with me, and that was the only thing I had to bring back. And I didn't have a bag or anything. So I just kind of put them in my car, and then they somehow moved to the armrest compartment, and they had been sitting there. So it really had only been there a couple days. I didn't actually move them back into the kitchen yet, or my kitchen. So that's how they ended up there. And I think even when I got to my car after it had been ransacked, and the armrest was left open. So in my mind, I'm just thinking that whoever the would-be thief saw this, I'm like, what's happening? Why is this here? I don't know. I would have been a little heartbroken if one or both of them were stolen. One of them was almost empty, but still, I would have been a little upset if that happened. That means I got to go pay another $2 to $4 to buy more, and that's money out of my pocket. But no, they were there, and I'm able to continue to season. Normally I use it with chicken, but normally I can continue seasoning my chickens and stuff, and it's all good. The last two times that I had my car broken into, and this actually is almost the same location, but several years apart, and actually different cars too. The last car, Alice, actually was broken into, and I had 2 cameras stolen because I left a camera bag in my car, and they took that bag. that hurt. I was on my way to not the radio station, but my school to actually record the other podcast, the old podcast I used to do, The Lost Style. And I had let them know, like, hey, some people broke in my car, blah, blah, blah. So they weren't expecting me to come in, but then I came in later. I'm like, what am I going to do? So here I am.
Mm-hmm.
The first time, my first car, Sam, they broke into that. I was upset for a couple reasons, mostly because they left the door open, like cracked. They left it ajar. So I'm like, things could be flying in my car. You left the door open. What's wrong with you? Second, they stole, I believe, my gym bag, if I remember correctly. And this is back just when Tag Body Spray kind of stopped or discontinued, like all of their line of body sprays. And I was holding out maybe the last can I think that ever existed, and they stole it. Well, not the can, but they stole the bag, which the can was in. So I was a bit more upset about that than the fact that anything else was stolen. Because that's all that was stolen, I think, that day. And the fact they left the door open. So, yeah. But this time, nothing stolen, just left a mess in the car. So
that's good, at least. And nothing was broken?
Nothing was broken. Just lights. I mean, there was stuff that I think had they known what it was, maybe they would have taken it. I did find, and I forgot that I had this, but AMC, or maybe most movie theaters, but if you go to premiere night for an MCU film, you will get a collectible coin. And I got one. See, I think I have one for Black Panther, Thor, Ragnarok, and I forgot I had one for Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I was reminded of this because it was front and center, one of the things that was pulled out of the bags and maybe sitting on a seat. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this coin. So I'm thinking maybe they saw it and Ant-Man and the Wasp, nah, don't want that. So moved on. I don't know where the other coins are that I have. So I'm not a very good collector of these things, but
yeah,
I don't know. But like I said, nothing stolen, and it's been a couple days. I haven't really discovered anything else that I'm missing. So, maybe, I don't know, hope they get their life together and stop thieving.
Right.
Being a rapscallion.
Earn a decent living by doing something legal.
Right.
That'd be great.
Please.
Thank you.
Please, yes, please and thank you. So yeah, that was the thing that has happened to me that's kind of left a little bit of a stain on the week, but overall, still good, just busy. But you, on the other hand, you have something that has happened, which is why this episode had been delayed, and it's for a very good reason, because you got to
oh yes,
you forgot.
Well, I was thinking of one thing, but we wouldn't have had to delay for that. You were talking about the second thing.
Well, what's the other thing now that I'm curious? Unless you don't want to talk about it.
My manuscript.
Oh.
Completed. Well, the first half of it.
Okay.
So
that is
Tuesday
news too.
Tuesday was my personal deadline to finish the first half of my manuscript and send to beta readers. So I did that. And so I am now working on the second half, and that was a slight deviation from the plan, which the original plan was to have the whole manuscript completed by the 4th, but things changed. So, but I met that deadline, and so my manuscript is now in the hands of beta readers. So the first half, and then they'll get the second half when I complete it in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So yeah.
Great timeline.
But yeah. But that happened the same day as the thing that you're talking about.
All right. Well, yeah, I didn't even know about the first thing. I knew about the second thing, and I was trying to build up and get all of my little stories out because I was excited about your second thing that we're still just making suspenseful. I'm just going to come out and say that you kicked it and hung out with the the notorious.
RBG.
Stole my thunder.
Sorry, you were taking too long.
I was. Yes, the notorious RGB, Ruth. Oh my goodness.
Bader Ginsburg.
Right. Okay, that's why I was upset with myself because I misspelled RGB. I wrote RGB and it's supposed to be RBG. Wow, Terrible. I am the worst. Anyway, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. How is she doing? She good? Is she great?
She's good. She is amazing, and I literally love her. Was super excited to be able to see her live and in person. She was interviewed by a very famous journalist who I can't think of her name. Her first name is Nina. And I'm actually going to look her up now to see if I can. But she interviews, I think it's Totenberg is her last name. But she does a lot of interviews on NPR, and like when you see her, you know her. When you hear her voice, you know her. Yes, Nina Totenberg is just an award-winning journalist with NPR. She's been around forever, and she's just a treasure as well. So RBG was in town through the Clinton School of Public Service. So Bill Clinton is from Arkansas, and we have a presidential library in his honor here, and he has also started the Clinton School of Public Service. I don't know why I always want to switch that around. But so it's a school. I mean, the name kind of says it, but they have lecture series where, famous folks or folks in the law profession or in the public service profession will come and speak. Well, RBG came and it's not an actual lecture where she's just speaking for, however long and talking to us. It's set up as kind of like a interview, something kind of like Barbara Walters would do. So Nina Totenberg interviewed RBG, and they just kind of talked about different groundbreaking cases that RBG got, how she kind of got to where she is now. And I think it's very interesting to note that, she is one of very few female justices. So she, and there's only one other, Sandra Day O'Connor is the only other one that I can even think of. I know there are others, but those are the ones that I'm most and really only familiar with. And so one of the most memorable things from that night is she said all the no's and all the job rejections that she got actually turned out to work out in her favor, because if she had gotten those positions that she went for, she would not have been able to become a justice, or she would have been stuck in somebody's law firm, doing whatever. So I thought that was very powerful. And I thought about, circumstances that I have been through and circumstances that I am currently going through. And it really was just a good, RBG has also had so many bouts with various types of cancers. She's had a lot of personal issues, like other family members. Her spouse has battled cancer. So she's been through a lot. And then for her to just kind of seem to take it all in stride and
keep going,
keep going and take it for what it is. It was just very inspiring. She is as funny as you think she is. I mean, she's not like slapstick, just guffaw laughing, but she's very witty and she's very eloquent, and she's very, she was so cute, and she came on stage and everybody, it felt like a concert, because we're in a stadium, we're in an arena where they actually do have concerts and things. This arena is full. So people are standing to their to their feet, you know, cheering, clapping, all kinds of, it sounded like a concert.
So she packs the house.
She packed it. I mean, it was originally supposed to be either at the Clinton School or at the Clinton Library. I'm not sure. They're on the same campus, but it was originally supposed to be there in the Great Hall. I'm not sure how big the Great Hall is, but very shortly after sign-ups, it's a free event, but you still needed to sign up so they could know how many people were coming. And thank God, because had they not done that, like, they would have been in this tiny, tiny, tiny room. I suspect is very much smaller, when this lady literally had a packed house.
Wow.
So yeah, I was fortunate to even get a ticket, because when signups first happened, I went to sign up, and then they said, you know, they were at capacity, but there's a wait list. And I was like, well, I can do that just in case. And sure enough, last week they had a thing that said, you know, we've decided to move venues because of the overwhelming response of interest. And, you know, we've decided to move from here to Verizon Arena, which is, again, it's a stadium.
Right.
And they did, and it was packed, nosebleed, upper section, lower section, the floor. I mean, it was full.
Wow.
So, anyway, but she's so cute. She came up on stage with her little bag, her little purse, and she sat down and she had her legs crossed, and she had on these black lacy gloves. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much. So admittedly, I don't know as much as I would like to about her career and about the work that she's done. I know a lot of it. Well, I know a good amount of it, and I definitely learned more Tuesday when she was speaking. And I even texted you one of the cases, because I was like, that seems like a really good case. I think it was actually the first gender-based case that the Supreme Court heard, and I believe it was her case. And so it was interesting because, from what I can remember, it was a father who was trying to receive benefits for his newborn child. His wife had recently given birth to the child, but died shortly after childbirth. And I believe she was the sole or like highest earning breadwinner, something like that. But I believe he wasn't working, or he made substantially less than her. But because he was unfortunately now the, you know, only parent of the child, he was trying to claim benefits. And basically he was denied because he was a male. And so they fought it, of course, and I believe they eventually won it. And that became one of her groundbreaking cases, because, you know, she being this woman justice, one of the very few who had started to become known for her gender equality, you know, her feminism, her fight for equality all across the board, not just gender-based, was fighting for this man. And it just went to show, yes, feminism is a thing, but it's not that women are better than men, or women are greater than men. But it's all about equality, and it's about honoring people's rights, not based on their gender. And so it was, I believe that was the one, I believe that was Reed versus Reed, but the case is real, but I don't know if it was Reed versus Reed or a different one.
Yeah, it was Reed versus Reed, and the holding is administrators of estates cannot be named in a way that discriminates between the sexes. Okay, good.
So it was, I mean, great, just great. That was one of the few. She talked about a couple of others that I was more familiar with, but of course I can't think of right now. And she talked about a couple of personal stories and things. It's just, it was amazing. I was mesmerized, the whole thing. I'm like, it aired on C-SPAN. So I'm hoping to find it so that I can just watch it and just keep it somewhere.
Oh, like what you went to was aired on C-SPAN?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm sure it's available somewhere. I'm actually going to see if I can find it on the site now. But President Clinton was there, and he opened up. He introduced her, so that was really neat. I actually did not expect him to be there. I didn't, it makes sense, but I didn't know that he was going to be there until like I was standing in line trying to get in. So it was pretty neat. So I got to see a former president and a sitting justice all in one night. So you really can't tell me nothing. Like you really still can't tell me nothing. So yeah, I'm checking the C-SPAN site. I don't see anything.
It is on there.
Huh?
It is on there.
Is it?
Yep.
I don't see it. Well, send me the link. I don't even see it.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Well, there's a lot of. I'm on there. I just don't see. She has several other like different videos and things, but I don't see this one.
Yeah, this one is from 2 days ago.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I was under a different tab. Anyway, there it is. So I'm pretty excited. So go to C-SPAN and I just searched RBG and but I'm pretty excited about it. I just love her. I'm very interested. There's a documentary called RBG that's streaming on Hulu that I will be checking out. And I have yet to watch the movie on the basis of sex, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I even when that movie was coming out, I didn't know it was about her. Like, in my opinion, there was kind of some poor promotion about that.
I agree. I agree. And in full disclosure, it is a Hollywoodized account of her life. So take it for that. True. But I figure more information about her and about her work, the better. The documentary will probably be more accurate to her life and work. So I'm going to start there. Plus, it's available now. And then I will eventually watch the movie later and, go that direction. But I suggest also adding to that list her interview from Tuesday in my hometown of Little Rock, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And you might see me. You probably won't, but I was there.
Right. And it looked like you had a decent seat from the picture you sent me. So
I did. I was third row from the floor section. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of like in the middle of the arena. So I say that to kind of give you some perspective, but it really was good seats considering they were free. And I fought like hundreds. I don't know how many folks were there, but it was many. I hope in the video, in the C-SPAN clip that they show the audience. I didn't see the cameras panning at all, like panning the audience. Mm-hmm. So I doubt that, but just know, and there are several times where like the audience would cheer and clap after she said something, or especially at the very end and the very beginning. So I don't know how much of that is heard in the video, but just know that it was. So many people, so much love for this person. So she's amazing, and it was worth it. It was a struggle because I almost talked myself out of going. Mm-hmm. It started at 6:30. Actually, it started closer to 6:45, 6:50, but it was slated to start at 6:30. I get off of work at 4:30 every day, mm-hmm. and I'm literally 10 minutes from the arena because I work downtown, and the arena is like downtown, and so. But, in 4:30, 5 o'clock traffic, it took me a little bit longer than normal. Of course, I expected that. But as I was getting closer to the arena, I realized, I'm passing some parking lots and people are already walking. And like, I could clearly see just the way people were dressed. And I could see like people had their little scan, the ticket that they scanned. They had that in their hands. I was like, I bet they have the same idea I do. Because again, it's a free event. So there's no tickets. There's no assigned seating. You just, you have a code to get in, but there's no like actual seating assigned. So I figured out quickly that those people were going to the same place I was. And I was like, okay, so parking downtown, especially close to the arena, is already really sparse. Mm-hmm. And they do that because they charge you $20 a car to park. Mm-hmm. $20, I said. So of course, any free parking is already like taken because there's like 5 spots maybe. And I'm exaggerating, but not by much. So
there's many of you thinking the same things. Like, ain't nobody paying like my hard-earned $20 just to park for a free event.
But it's RBG. So, but that was the same, monologue. I had a same conversation with myself I had going on in my head. I was like, okay, she told me the price, and I was like, are you serious? Because I thought it was 10 maybe, and to me that's expensive. But she said $20, and then like every parking lot said $20. Wow. I think one did say 10, but of course it was like a bit farther. So I was like, oh, okay, do I want to do this? Oh. So of course I didn't have any cash on me, and they take cash only. But it was in the parking lot of a bank. Of course it was in my bank. So I was like, great. If I go get $20 to park my car for 2 hours, this ATM is going to charge me because I don't bank with them. So they're going to charge me with $3 or $4, $2 maybe, I don't know. So I'm like, so I'm going to pay over 20. I'm just going to say $25 to park. So, and then I was just like, okay, but it's RBG. It's a free event anyway. So it's not like I'm come out of a whole lot of money for the entirety of the event. Right. So I was like, all right, let me just do it. So I did it. I walked over to the little ATM, got my money, paid the lady, and walked up towards the arena. As I'm doing so, I noticed this huge line. Okay? Mm-hmm. Huge line. Now, if you've been to any arena, you know that there's like typically a large point of entry. Like there's not just one door, there's multiple doors because it's built for larger events and larger crowds of people. Mm-hmm. So when I saw this huge line, like, okay, so you kind of have to go up an incline, like stairs or a ramp, for more accessibility to get up to the top part, the top hilly part of the entrance. And so I just imagine kind of looking up and seeing like rows and rows and rows of people. So I finally made it to the end of the line or towards the end of the line. And I was just like, I just kind of said, hey, to somebody in line. I was like, hey, I have a dumb question. Is this the line to get in? She's like, yeah, I know. Yeah. So I was like, oh God. And it's already too late because I paid my $20. And then I was just like, okay, I wonder what the odds are if I just turn around right now, go back to my car, get my $20 back. And I was on the phone, and the first person I was on the phone was like, yeah, that ain't likely. So I was like, great. So I'm either going to stand in line for hours or, and maybe not even get in or what. Fortunately, though, somehow, you know how people are creatures of, we tend to take the path of least resistance. Right. And if they see a lot of people in line, they're going to just get in line behind them. Well, those people had formed a line, yes, but they weren't at the main entrance. All we had to do is one of the volunteers told us, fortunately, hey, the main entrance is around here, and the line is, it's set up to have multiple lines, so you're not in a never-ending long line that's wrapped around the building. So sure enough, went to that area. The line was still there, but it definitely wasn't wrapped around the building, and, they were able to move us through pretty quickly. So go through there. It's hot as all get out because summer in Arkansas. But we go in, we have to get into another line to be basically funneled into the arena and to get our seats. So long story short, I ended up being behind this other girl who was by herself. We started talking, and so like now we're friends. And Yay. Then we ended up sticking together and kind of going down to this area where we could get our seats, and we ended up walking back to our cars together because we were in the same area.
Oh,
so that
friends.
was cool. Her name's Carmen.
What's up, Carmen?
I didn't get her phone number though, so I feel like womp womp. But she was my friend for the night, and we had each other's backs, and we we squealed and we fangirled over RBG together. So we'll always have that. We'll always have RBG.
We could have had a new fan.
Like Casablanca. I know. But anyway, so it was a great experience. It was awesome. I'm still full from that night and inspired and just happy that I didn't talk myself out of waiting in line just a little while longer.
Right. By the way, points to your Casablanca reference. I liked it.
Right? Yeah.
Have you seen it, by the way?
I haven't.
I
have not.
I ruined it by asking.
No, don't tell anybody that.
Okay.
Like, I'm actually embarrassed about that one.
I will edit that out of the podcast. And
sure you will.
your experiences was very similar to who I'm still holding out for and hoping that we get on this podcast. My Congresswoman, Jahana Hayes, who, and I told you about how I went to go see her speak and how I was actually talking myself out of going, but I'm so glad that I went.
Yeah, it's amazing how often we do that. And I mean, and for good reasons a lot of times, but it's amazing what we probably miss out on by talking ourselves out of things because we're either uncomfortable or we have to kind of step out of the box or whatever the reason is, even if it's of good reason.
Right.
That, I think we miss out on, we self-sabotage a lot of our opportunities because we do that sometimes.
Right. And I know for me, what does it, and in a way, I feel like you did it too, but it was almost like, why shouldn't I go? Like, why not go? And
right. She's here. You're here.
Yeah. Like,
what other opportunity? When are you going to have this opportunity again?
Exactly.
She's in your home, basically. She's at your front door, in your house. Like, take advantage of that.
Right.
And I'm so glad I did.
And that goes back to my whole thing, which I remember talking about several episodes ago, and you and I have talked about it, about that having that no regrets kind of thing, that mentality. And I know you would have regretted if you didn't go. So. Oh,
absolutely. I would have. And, it was uncomfortable because I was hot. I was like, I don't do crowds. I don't go to concerts because I can't handle the crowds for the most part. But imagine this, there were lots and lots of people. I'm by myself, which I don't mind being by myself, but it does help if I'm with somebody to kind of help buffer some of that anxiety.
Right.
And so I'm by myself. I don't really know where to go because nobody knows where to go.
Right.
Usually
we don't have big events. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But this was I think they did a decent job of organizing, but because my theory is, this wasn't a ticketed, assigned seat type situation. So they had to just funnel you first come, first serve. And so I think they did a decent job of doing that and keeping order and not nobody seemed to be rude or anything, like audience members or anything.
Right.
The volunteers were great. But I really don't think they anticipated this type of outcome, this type of response. So I think they had to do a lot of quick maneuvering to try to figure out how they were going to handle everybody. And like I said, I think they did a really good job, but I also wish they would have assigned a seat or gave us numbers or something because that would have helped. But, I was uncomfortable for a good portion of the night because I was put in situations that I tend to avoid anyway, even under better circumstances. So, but yeah, I'm glad I stuck it through and stayed. And I thought it was only going to be an hour or two, because they said it was going to be an hour, and maybe it was supposed to only be an hour to begin with. I don't know. And maybe that was just the time that was automated on the ticket thing. But it was a good 2 hours, and I felt like I got my money's worth.
your parking worth anyway.
Well, I feel like I've paid the whole event. I don't know how they afforded to do that, but I don't know. ask questions I don't need answers to.
Right. And like, that's RBG. If she wants to talk for 2 hours, you better let her talk for 2 hours. Cause like she earned that time. Like this is my time.
Well, honestly, it wasn't even her talking, just talking, taking up time. It was, cause Nina was kind of the moderator. That's what they called her, as the moderator, even though RBG's like, was a one-woman panel, but she was the one, Nina was the one to kind of control the conversation and keep it moving, rather. And she did an excellent job. But RBG wasn't just up there chit-chatting and talking with the audience. She actually was answering questions and, filling in information, that type of stuff. But regardless, it was longer than, and like I said, like Bill Clinton was up there for,
oh, that's right. He was
I don't know how long. He was up there, and like they did 2 other openings from like the chancellor or the dean of the school and some other folks who are key players in this whole shebang. But just those 2 people, and then Bill Clinton, and then RBG. So there was a lot. There was a lot in it.
Okay.
It's just really cool. Just a very cool experience.
Oh, that's great. And I'm wondering. I think, did you and I go to see Maxwell there at this particular arena?
Yeah, that's exactly where we saw him.
Okay.
So you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the steps that we had to go up, maybe?
I do. And I don't remember like too many long lines, I think, because we had all those entrances
ticketed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of entrances, but it was also ticketed. So, but so I think like the majority of folks were showing up 2.5, possibly 3 hours earlier, because it was a free event and it's literally first come, first serve. So that's why I came like directly after work, and had to wait in line like everybody else. So
and
it was great. It was awesome.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm glad you did. She had to get a little closer, then you could invite her to come on the podcast. So yeah.
I know. I was hoping to like rub elbows with her, but she was heavily guarded.
As she should be.
Heavily guarded.
As she should be. Yes. Because each time
Bill Clinton was there, and there was like a state representative. No, he's not a state representative. He's like a state senator. And not even a state senator. He's like the senator that is in D.C., and I'm not going to name him. Because, you name stuff and you give power to it,
Right.
So,
I think I know who you're talking about, because we may have discussed him before, like off mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So
not a fan. Not a fan.
No,
Why would he be there? Because
because I figure, and I thought the same thing. I was like, but wait, you're on the other side.
Why are you here?
So, but I think, but because, politics and RBG is a justice. You have a former president, it's all politics, and got to save face and got to show up. And so,
smile for the cameras.
Like, right. Got to show your face. So, of course, he was like first row. I'm sure there were a lot of other people of power there. There's a lot of really well-dressed folks. And those folks, of course, were on the floor, and they got to sit up in the first sections. And so I'm sure there was other people there, but only this particular senator was mentioned. Our mayor, Frank Scott Jr., was there, so that was pretty cool. I didn't see him, but he was there. So that's pretty cool. I did vote for him. I am a supporter for him. So I'm sure there were some other like highfalutin folks there, but the normies like me were up in the side seats, and it was just as good. The commoners, it was just as good, honestly.
Well, that's good. I'm sure where you wanted to go was the after party, because that's how RBG rolls. Like, okay, now where's the after party happening?
Is that true? That's not true, is it?
We're gonna say it is, and then she's gonna go like, okay, let's really like smooge it up and just pass out the wine and cheese or whatever she does that she likes to party with.
I just feel like she's not a smoother. I mean, I could be wrong. She just seems really real to me. It's funny. Me and my new friend Carmen, we were like, all right, it's 8:30 or 6:30, folks, and it was like 6:40, and we're like, she's like, I just don't feel like RBG would approve and condone this tardiness. Like, it doesn't seem like she would be okay with this.
Right.
I was like, girl, you are right. Mm-hmm. But I bet she's not the one calling the shots. And I bet this tardiness is not because of her. So,
right.
You know. But, yeah, I feel like RBG went on to the – it's funny because even Nina, the moderator, mentioned her bouts with cancer, and even like the most recent one, I believe, was back in June or July. So not that long ago. And I remember that. But she's like – Nina's like, you know, we are so glad you're here. But with all due respect, why are you here? Like, why are you not resting somewhere or, you know, healing? And she's just like, well, you know, I made this commitment to the Clinton Foundation or the Clinton School or whatever she said, and I just want to keep it. And then I'm just like, oh, God, I love you so much. Wow. You're so great. What a lady. Oh. Mm-hmm.
Well, wherever she ended up after that night, I'm pretty sure she was like maybe just, you know, continuing the chit-chatting and even that's something that I think I would have liked to have been there. Like,
I know. I would just love to sit near her and just listen to her tell me stories all day.
Right. And not even law-related ones.
Amazing wisdom. Yeah, just talk. Just like whatever's on your mind, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I want to know about
whatever
the pie that like
about.
You made a pie and maybe you didn't come or something. Whatever. I don't
Right.
just
give me all of your life lessons in one sitting and go.
Where did you buy those gloves, or were they given to you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I really need to know that actually.
Yeah, see, there's just little things like that. But yeah, it sounds like a fantabulous evening, to steal one of your words, and I'm glad that you went. Really, so.
Me too.
So now you have that experience to carry you through, and just remembering her wise words, which sounds like a lot, and your recommendation to check out her C-SPAN video, which if I remember to do so, I will post a link in the show notes. I kind of get lazy when it comes to that. I apologize. I know. I'll do better. Or I'll hire an intern that I will pay. So one or the other.
Yes. Either one.
Yes. I do have one last story. This happened at work, and it's a little bit of a shout out to one of the staff members at the hospital who came up to me. He's a kind older fellow. He's got white hair, white beard, white mustache. Like, he looks like he would be one that would like hold secrets of like just the building or things that aren't regularly talked about. And he looks like a loner, but a friendly loner. Like, he's always got a smile and just a kind word and a gentle voice. And I was stalking in one of the rooms, and then he came up to me and he was like, hey, I'm not really into too many sports. Like, I like NASCAR, and then he liked something else. I forgot what it was. So he's telling me the story as he pulls out his phone. So I'm not really sure what's happening. The last time he pulled out his phone, he was telling me how he just got this new smartphone, and he doesn't know pretty much how to use it or what to use it for. So that was just amusing to me. It's like, oh, you silly old man. But no, he pulls out his phone, and he's telling me that he likes NASCAR, and how in New Hampshire they have like a quarter-mile racetrack up there. And most racetracks are in rural areas because they don't want to have all that noise in like the city life. So in this particular like secluded area, they even allow kids to race cars up there. And he was telling you how he was watching this video of this kid who, or this race that happened, and this kid won. And he was like showing how tall this kid was. He was like, I don't know, up to his waist or something, because he didn't know how old he was. He just knew he was a small little kid. And then he gets the video up on Facebook and shows me him getting out of the car and him struggling to get out of the car because you have to get out through the window, which I don't watch NASCAR, so I didn't know this. So yeah, that's how they get in and out of the cars.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. No, I barely ever watch it. I'll just see it. I'm like, this is boring, and move on. But he won, so he's struggling to get out of the car. I was like, oh, wow, adorable. And then he actually finally gets out. I'm like, oh, wow, he really is that small. And then not only does he get out, but he climbs on top of the car. And then this is the part that got this guy really excited. And he's like, yeah, I just love what he's doing with his arms and like his hips, this weird thing where they're like, he's gyrating back and forth. What he's describing and what he's showing me on this video is this boy is flossing. And that, that is what
cute.
He thought it was cute. And like, I don't know what this is, but he's just doing this thing. And I think it's so cute. I love it. And I'm like, yeah, that's flossing. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, flossing. It's spelled the same way as what you do with your teeth, but it's a dance that these little young do.
You do it with you floss your body.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Flossing your body. Oh, see, I'm just gonna embrace that. There are some things that are just beyond my age, and I'm just never gonna understand and know. I've already done that with like MTV at this point. Like, I've aged out of it. But yeah, I explained to him that it is a popular dance that all the youngins are doing now. But But yeah, he was still just pretty happy, just grinning as he was showing me this video. And like, yeah, it's really great. So it was just a really gentle, like pure moment. And that just really stuck with me. And then just him telling me the story, having no idea what it was going to lead up to. And so I'm like, okay, why is he telling me about a racetrack in New Hampshire? What's going on? Where are we going with this? And for it to end with this boy flossing, but basically just his reaction to him flossing. And it was just pure joy that it gave him. And his story gave me joy because, he's just a joyful, jolly man. So,
good.
So yeah, I wanted to share that. I'm hoping it brought a smile to you, dear listener. I know it made you laugh, Kortney. So I mission accomplished. So yes. So yeah, just wanted to share that little story there. But I'm all out of stories, and for now, I've always got stories. But that's all the stories I have for this particular episode. You got anything else you want to share, or maybe plug, or anything like that?
Go watch RBG on Hulu. I will be watching it very soon myself. So, yeah, take a look-see at it so we can talk about it. All
right. I will do the same. I'm not sure if you're actually talking to me or just our dear listener, but
everybody.
Okay, everybody. Also, everyone. Just a reminder, we haven't done an Ask and Doob episode in a while, or even just any questions. So please, if you'd be so kind to email us at indoobpod@gmail.com with a question, or a question of anything. Ask us anything, whether that be advice or some silly nonsense. You can also tweet us with the hashtag AskInDoob. And because we haven't had anything to respond to in a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'd like to talk. We like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What's scratching your brain cells, and you just kind of want to just get it out, or ask, and we'll tell you, or we'll answer it for you. Or if you have questions for us personally, if you just want to know, like, hey, what's your favorite movie this week? Because that's a more accurate question to ask than what's my favorite movie ever, because that changes. So yeah. I feel like I want to have a recommendation too, but I don't think, what we possibly should do. There's a new show coming out on Netflix called The Island, as in the letter I-land. I'm going to check that out. So Kortney, if you also get a chance, maybe you could check that out too, at least the first episode, and then we can discuss that. And if it's good, and if we should continue watching. That comes out September 12th. So that gives you some time to prepare. I don't know why you prepare. Just with the way Netflix works, things just appear. So, but at least you'll be aware of it. Yeah. The other thing I'm going to actually check out is Hulu. They came out with a series on the Wu-Tang Clan, and I think I'll check that out too. Because I recently watched a documentary about them. Because again, or not again, I don't think I've mentioned it before. I'm not really a hip hop head, but I do like to learn about music and musicians. So they had a documentary on Showtime. I thought that was really awesome. So I'm like, well, I'll check out this movie, this dramatized version of it too. But yeah, my recommendation is that The Island, check that out. And I will also check out RGB, so we can discuss that next time too. And follow me on all things at Indube. Go to Indube.com to find the T Public Store for merch and Patreon to support and get perks. Ask us questions, like I said, indubepod@gmail.com. Please rate, comment, and share the pod on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and Podbean. Thank you so much for supporting us, listening, stopping by, and pressing play. Tell someone you value that you value them. Live without regrets, like Kortney has expertly did this past week.
Woohoo!
And live for the folks you love. I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
The Indube Podcast is recorded in a studio somewhere on planet Earth. The Indube Podcast is part of the Indube Network. And if you'd like to get in contact with the Indube Podcast, please email indubepod@gmail.com. That is indubepod@gmail.com. You can find the Indube Podcast on Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, and of course Podbean, or wherever podcasts may be procured. If you'd like to find out more information, please visit indube.com, where you can find our store, the blog, and of course our Patreon, if you'd like to support and donate and find more perks and fun things to listen to and watch. For Chief, DJ Joe Daddy, Bilford, this is T. Sterling Watson signing off. Thank you so much for listening. Use your words, Chief. Good boy. This has been another 3SFX production.